Hello, every single person. And today, obviously, I'm going to be going over the trades last week that won with the Neo trading strategy using Neo the indicator. That's what you can see on the chart at the moment. Of course, this is if you look at it with one, let's say one display for a time frame. But what we like to do, as you've seen from my previous videos, literally the last probably 3 or 4 videos, I like to split my chart. So I've got a daily chart and a 4-hour time frame. So, this is a very simple strategy, and I get it. It might look overwhelming when you look at this at first, but once you actually put two and two together, once you do have this product, which it is a paid indicator, you're really going to get the grasp the concept of this pretty quickly, and you're going to see how, it's not one of those indicators or one of these types of videos where someone's just trying to sell you something, because this happens every single week, and it's not possible for me to make it up, to make it look fancy in order, again, to sell a product. That's not how it is. This is a very good way for you to be able to make money weekly in the market, which a lot of people have been asking me for, because originally I was swing trading, which, there might not have been a setup pretty much every single week. But with this strategy, I don't think I've had one week where there hasn't been at least 3 to 4 to 5 trades. I think on average, in terms of the breakout orders that happen, there is 10 to 20 trades. But the way we trade it, using at least 2 confluences from this table, there will be anything between 3 to 5 trades or more in a week. It just depends on how much volatility, obviously, there is in the market. But yeah, it's a very good strategy. I mean, once you get better and better at it, I'm sure you're going to be able to find even nice little clever ways of how to make money. Do you know what I mean? Let me just go into the chat and see who's there. Oh, hi, my friend. So yeah, it's just a very simple strategy. Loving it so far. And this whole video is based on the fact that I was able to make 10K on a proper account in 2 weeks trading this strategy. And I wasn't doing anything crazy, really. My risk wasn't super high and stuff like that. All my results are in my Telegram group. So the links for my Telegram group will be, and my Discord will be in the description below. So you can go through there and see what I've put in the free Telegram area as well. Boom, boom, boom. Long time king. You just joined. Cool. So yeah, let's just kick it off and see what goes on straight away. Okay. So first and foremost, we're going to look at the trades last week. So the first trade we took was Euro NZD. And we took the buy trade set up on Euro NZD up here at this point. So let's just make the screen bigger. It's out of the way. And where's my rewind tool? Let's get this down here. Let's get my way. Boom, boom, boom. Let's get the rewind tool. And let's put it back here for now. So we're looking at this buy trade that actually occurred over here, which is right in front of us. As we can see, price action bought all the way up. And why did we look at this trade? People will ask again. Well, it is a very simple setup when it comes to Neo. So let me just get this back for you here. Yeah, cool. So we started to look at this trade setup because we saw from the Tuesday of last week that there was a breakout right here, as we can see on the chart in front of us. Now, what do I mean by a breakout? Again, as I've explained, on the daily chart, we're going to get updates here on this table, and you can see there's all the different currency pairs here. You can add whatever currency pairs you want by just clicking on here, and you can literally type in what you want to add. I've managed to add, you can add in 14 pairs in a table. So I've got 2 tables here. I put one table at the top, which you can change the table position here. You can change it to wherever you want in the chart. And I just added the indicator again, and I added a table in the bottom. And this is how I'm able to get AUD CAD all the way to USD JPY. I've got another template as well, where I've just got all the exotic pairs that I look at, like just for the sake of looking at them. I've got indexes, metals, and whatever. So you can trade this with absolutely anything, people, what I'm about to show you. Everybody asks me, does it work for this and does it work for that? I've never, ever created a strategy that doesn't work for everything. I don't create strategies just for a specific trading instrument. I don't do that. I just trade the strategy and I test it against everything. That's what I always do. So it works for everything, people. So as you can see here on the daily time frame, we can see that there's a breakthrough of this candle and the EMA. So when that did happen at the time, obviously this is replay mode, so it's a bit harder to see price action moving with the candle. So the indicator might not show how exactly it would show in live time, but I will show you exactly what it would say, and people have seen it before, of course. It would look more like this. It would have looked like, as soon as this candle closes, just to show you, the table will look like this, where you can see here, where we've got a yes, and we've got a yes here for the bullish EMA information. So let's just see if it does it anyway. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, yeah, where are we? AD and sorry, no, Euro New Zealand. So we can see here, boom, that we have got this breakthrough here, but obviously this would have changed right now into a 2, and it would have said yes as well, just like this here. So sorry, it wouldn't have said yes, it would have had this color. So you would have had 2 colors, just like you can see on Euro CHF here. This is how Euro New Zealand would look in live market conditions. Again, as you can see, a daily candle is not going to move as fast as the one button that I pressed to move the replay. So it would say that there. It would say both of them there. There's no bugs or no errors. As you're looking at the live market, it would look exactly how Euro CHF looks right there. And this gave us the indication that, yes, we can look for buy trade setups on Euro NZD. Now, in order for us to gain an entry, so remember, this candle closed, there was a breakout order, because you can see it says here, yes. This would have also been a bullish color in terms of the background of it, just like Euro CHF. So that's given us, again, a good indication that we can look for a buy trade setup. This is how the strategy works. That's the first part of the strategy, Confluence 1. Now, when we come over to Confluence 2, which I can just go into the 4-hour chart now, because our daily chart already shows us, you know, what's going on here. Let me just get rid of this for now. Boom. The next thing we're going to look at here is we're going to be looking at, okay, when do we gain our entry? So what we can see here is that there was a bullish FVG right over here. So don't worry about this. Oh, no, this is what I've drawn. Okay, cool. So we can get rid of that. So there was a bullish FVG right over here. Boom. Right here. And we want price action to now show us that it's gone back to retest this bullish FVG. Because if you look at the common sense of it, break down the sense, the breakout order, hold on a second. Boom, boom, boom. Where are we? Okay, it's not going to let me get to my annotation because the thing's in the way. Give me a second, people. I'm just trying to find my rectangle tool. Yeah, there it is. Boom. Think about it. Now pay attention. The breakout order, like when the FVG forms, would have been from here all the way to here. Yeah. Where the candle closed. Boom. So it's already telling us that there's a potential of buys in this area. Obviously, as the candle on the daily started to sell down, as we can see here on the 4-hour as well, this box, as you can see, will become smaller and smaller. But it's telling us that there is a whole load of buy orders in this area, which were placed by banks or the big markets. Or the big players in the market, like hedge funds, etc., all these investment firms, etc. So again, it's given us an indication that there's buy orders here based on the daily breakout and how big that box would have been there at first before price was pushing it down. Now, again, because this isn't a fully formed FVG, we know that. If you know anything about fair value gaps, it hasn't formed 3 candles. It's only done the 1 breakout so far. Cool. Just put that in mind. And if you don't know about fair value gaps, I urge you to go to YouTube. There is 1,000 different videos on fair value gaps. So you don't need me to give you an exact one-on-one on it. But if you do, you can always just message me and we can talk about that. But there is 1,000 free videos out there. This video is going on YouTube as well. I'm just trying to give people free insight as well into the market, you know? So again, you can go over there and find out much, much more on fair value gaps. So right here, we can see on the 4-hour chart, within that breakout order area based on the daily, there's a 4-hour FVG right over here, a actual formed 4-hour FVG, because we've got 1 candle here, a second candle here with a gap, and a 3rd candle that closed here. So there's a fair value gap. So that's telling us that if we've got daily breakout buy orders in this big green box in the background, we've got 4-hour orders here. So think of this, people, think of this as a, there we go, let's see if this one works. Cool. Yeah, that's great. Think of this as like a bullseye right here. It's literally telling you like a bullseye is right here to look for your entries around this area. Now, this could confuse traders still because they're like, okay, but John, it just blew straight past the FVG. So how do we know when to enter? Well, I've been spending months coding Neo, and you know, again, I told people in the group today, that this indicator here, NEO NUE, I've got 993 variations of this. So this isn't something I'm joking about here. This is something I spent a lot of hours getting coded and coding myself as well. Yeah. So what we will see on this indicator here, which is NEO NUE, it helps us with double tops and double bottoms forming in the market, whatever time frame they're looking at. So we want to see a label that's giving us a buy possibility in this area. So the next thing we're going to do is just simply wait on the 4 hour. Let's make this 4 hour chart bigger so everybody can see, and zoom in. Boom, boom, boom. We want to see a buy order coming in. Now we can already see from the next candle it's bullish. So let's just wait for the buy order to lock in and give us a indication that buyers are locked in with NEO, because we're going to see a W1, a W2, or a high label. That's right, or a low label. So we're going to see a W1, a W2, or a low label, indicating that buys, basically a support on the 4 hour chart, has been formed within, again, we can see here. Yeah, so let's just say NEO NUE is going to show us a 4 hour support has been formed, basically. It creates, remember, it shows you the double tops and the double bottoms. Regardless of the time frame you use NEO NUE on, you're always going to see different M's. You're going to see M's and W's and highs or lows, yeah? So let's just skip forward. Boom. We've got a low label here, okay? Now, this low label has shown us that a part of the double bottom or double top has formed, but really it's the middle part of the double top or double bottom. Obviously, if this is supposed to be a double bottom, it's the middle part of it, because again, you have a W that comes from the top going down. And then what happens after that? Sorry, no, this is the middle part of a, let me rephrase myself because I'm trying to make it easy and not confuse people. This is the middle part of a double top, because when you have a double top, if it's an M1, that's the first part of it. What happens with an M pattern, people? Price goes up like this. I would draw it, but all my drawing tools are hidden by Zoom's button here. Let's see if I got it here. Here we go, path tool. Yeah, what happens? You go up, M1. You go down, which creates the low. As you can see, the low created down there. Yeah, and then you're going to go up again. Now, of course, what would naturally happen, you'd expect for this to happen, for it to go down and create a M1, a low, and an M2. But of course, we're paying attention to the higher time frame going into the lower time frame. So the higher time frame will always hold precedence, because obviously it's a stronger time frame. And this is why, even though it's an M pattern here, we're still starting to see a buy position happening within this trade setup at the moment. Okay, and a low is still a low, regardless if it's within a M pattern, regardless. Even if it's in a double top, it doesn't matter. It's still a low that's formed for possible buys to continue before the M2 again does appear. Yeah, for the continuation of the sell. So you can see straight away, I'm just giving you the logic of what NEO NUE does, yeah? Just so people can understand that it's not just magical alphabetical numbers and numbers, basically. Sorry, alphabet things and numbers there telling you, oh, buy now, sell now. The logic is it's a double top and double bottom. That's why you're seeing M1, M2, W1, W2. So people can understand that, because I get a lot of questions on what the hell is the M and W indicator, okay? But again, we've seen a buy label appear here, which is great for us. Buy label right there in front of us. It told you low, it's green, because I've colored it green in my settings. And what did we do? As soon as that happened, people, I gave every single trader the entry signal in the VIP group, which again is part of the paid service. I gave every single trader the entry for this trade. Where is it? Boom. Long. And I said, boom, you enter here now on this 4 hour candle closure. You had 4 hours to get your affairs in order. Let's just put it that way. Yeah, you had a long time. It wasn't, that was 8 hours technically before even an entry appeared. So you even had 8 hours. So boom. And then the stop loss was just literally at the bottom of this area. It's about 45 pips, I believe. So I just put it below. I said I might as well put it below this breakout order. So it's around here, because we know that if it starts to get rid of this daily breakout order, in theory, it's telling us that it could be actually reversing and selling. But what we wanted to do is buy, so it should technically hold that area. Do you understand? So I just put it below the low of this area. And the main reason for that is because price had already broken the 4 hour FVG. If it didn't and it gave me the entry, I would have just put my stop loss there below the FVG, because it should hold it. But because it already broke it, but did give me an entry confirmation, I just went boom, right here, and put it below, yeah? Cool. And then my target levels are right in front of us, right here. My TP1 would have been where? Right here, where the liquidity, which NEO NUE shows you already. So that's TP1 right there. Yes, it's not a one-to-one, but it is a TP level. And money in this game is money. You don't have to always have one-to-one, one-to-two, one-to-three. Because if you entered up with 100 lot, you still would have made a lot of money. And we're here to make money, people. We're not here to be like some type of runway model traders. We're here to make money, regardless of whatever the game is. That would have been money there. So that's TP1. TP2, based on the 4-hour, would have been up here where you can see the liquidity is over to the left. Okay. And then TP3, obviously, so you've got all your take profit levels already there for you to know where all the liquidity points are. TP3 was around about here. And I think this is where I did have my TP originally. So let's just see what price action does. Boom, boom, boom. Boom. There we go. So we can see TP3 was hit in this trade. And it even actually went further right up to this point here. So TP4 would have been up here, but I don't believe it went to TP4. So you had 3 TP levels that were actually hit in this trade setup. Simple as that. So just to go over this one more time for every single person, one more time, just so you can see this, because we'll brush through the next one straight away. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. Let's close this. Sorry, boom. Let's keep that there. We're going to go back here again. We're going to go to here. Yeah, just before the move occurred. Sorry, just here. Just to go over it for anyone that did join late or anything like that. It's a very simple trade setup when you use NEO. You don't have to stress yourself. There's nothing to worry about. You're not going to be overwhelmed if you keep this simple, exactly how I explained it. We had a daily breakout order here, and we had a daily breakout order here, and we had a daily break and closure of the daily candle through the 50 EMA. Again, you can see here, it's already appearing now. This is how it would look, but it appears before this buy happened. I want you to know, before this buy had happened, this would have said, again, this here would have said bullish. It would have been a bullish color. It didn't happen after, because you can see how the 4-hour looks different on the replay mode from the daily. The 4-hour still selling down. It literally would have looked like this, people. So you know, as soon as the market had closed, yeah, today I can look for a buy trade setup on Euro New Zealand. All I have to do is wait for my 4-hour confirmation entry. So it would have looked exactly like this as soon as this Tuesday candle closed for a Wednesday buy. Then you went to your 4-hour chart on Wednesday and you just waited patiently. Remember, you only have to check the charts every 4 hours, so you're not even stressing yourself. Boom. As soon as you got this one here, this low order right here, this low entry, you would have entered the market just as I've shown you. You've got all your stop loss, again, would have just been below this region here, which was the daily breakout area. Yeah, cool. And you would have been able to look for all your take profit levels. Take profit 1, take profit 2, take profit 3 as well over here. A very simple trade setup. That's all you have to do, people. Pattern parcel. Every day, you just look at the market, and if that setup appears, like I just showed you in Euro New Zealand, you wait for your 4-hour entry, pull back into an FVG, and you enter the trade. It's that simple, people. On just what I've said there alone, does anyone have any questions before I continue to the next pair? I just would like to do that. Anyone got any questions? Or if it's very simple, you can just put a Y in the chat for me.
Can you remind us what on the daily chart, what a breakout order is, such that it'll show up on the chart?
A breakout order is the beginning part of an FVG. FVGs have to form with 3 candles. 3 candles, 1, 2, and 3. Yeah? Has to be 3 candles. And the gap in the middle candle is where the FVG will be shown. Doesn't matter what indicator you use that shows an FVG, that's what will happen. So wherever the gap is, obviously, you don't know if a gap's going to form on the daily candle until the let's say it does do a breakout. Boom. Yeah? Like it did here. This whole area, remember what I showed you at the beginning, this whole area. Where is it? Sorry, I've got to find this thing again. No. Before this candle had moved anywhere, yeah, this whole area here would have been green, like that, boom. But obviously, as Wednesday was appearing and you're waiting for your entry, as we know, price will move up and down. So obviously it moved down straight away, yeah? And that's what made this box smaller, you see? So we don't know if this is going to create an FVG or not. But what we're doing is we're anticipating an FVG to create itself because of what we can see here. We saw it's done the breakout. We've also seen it's broken the EMA, which is telling us structure has been broken as well. Do you understand? So we've got a
Yeah.
double confluence that there's buy pressure in this trade. Do you understand? We're not just looking
Hmm.
at price breaking out of with a breakout order and say, yeah, we know it's going to create an FEG, so it should continue. No, we've got a double confluence at least. Do you understand?
So the breakout order is that third candle?
It's not the third candle. The breakout order is always the second candle. It's the second candle right here. It's the second
Gotcha.
candle. Because price will always create a first candle, then it will create,
Hmm.
if it's going to create an FVG, any pair, any trading pair, yeah? It's going to create a first candle. It's going to have a middle candle that has a massive gap in it or some type of gap. And then the third candle will not close that gap. It will leave that gap, whether it's the size of this or whether it's the size of that. It's still considered a gap. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So that
Okay.
is what a breakout order is. Do you understand? So we've got a double confluence of a breakout order happening, yeah, and then we've got the EMA to show us that structure's been broken, basically. So because EMAs just show you where price has been for the last how many days you set it to, or how many 4 hours you set. It's whatever time frame you're on. So we're on the daily chart, so it's showing us 50 candles back, basically, and the average of where price is. That's why it's called a moving average, basically. Shows us where the average is. So the average of price has been around here, basically. And it's told us that, okay, price has broken through that average. Do you understand? So it's technically showing us structure has been broken, is what I'm trying to tell you. Yeah?
Hmm. Yep.
Cool. So that's what we've got there, and that's what's given us that thing. But what the fantastic thing about this is, again, whenever a breakout order happens on a higher time frame, only the breakout order. On the lower time frame, yeah, there should be an FEG in that breakout order. Do you get it? So the fact that there's an FEG in there, it's basically giving you a bullseye to where price should stop, and then now you can start to look for an entry. And again, just so you're not just entering randomly, this is why you have Neo, because Neo shows you when there is the pattern happening in the market of highs and lows, which is the double tops and the double bottoms. Do you understand? That's why it's great. So Neo tells us, okay, now it's time to enter when this 4 hour candle at the close of this rejection. And you can see what happened straight away. It was an amazing trade for everybody that entered. Everybody that did take the trade, this Euro New Zealand as a signal, maybe they weren't at the chart or whatever, but if you did take it, every single person made money. And literally how I've shown you this in this video here is exactly how I gave the trade out. There was no complication. It wasn't hard. It was that simple. I saw the breakout order, waited for the pullback, waited for Neo to tell me that a low had been formed, or a W1 or W2. Obviously, we can say it's a low, and I entered the trade setup. Simple as day. It's that simple, people. Yeah. Is there any other questions for anybody in here? If there's no other question, wait, let's see. Yeah. So what time does the market close? It depends where you are in the world. I'm only going to refer to UK time for now, but for UK time, which is, for United Kingdom, it closes at 10 p.m. Now, on average, that should be in America around 5 p.m., if I'm correct. Obviously, there's different time zones for different parts of wherever you are in America or wherever you are in the world. But 10 p.m. UK time, you can convert that anywhere. Yeah. Or there's something called World Clock on Google, and you can put wherever you are, and it shows you different. If it's 10 p.m. here, it will be so and so time somewhere else. Do you understand? So you literally can go on Google and just check a conversion of 10 p.m. to whatever your time would be. And so 10 p.m. 10 p.m. every day, Monday to Friday, I literally come to my chart and I check whatever pairs have two columns, a bullish color or a bearish color. Do you understand? Literally. So imagine this was 10 p.m. right now. I would know that there could be a buy trade on Euro New Zealand because this is bullish and bullish, or there could be a buy trade on Euro CHF because this is bullish and bullish. I don't even have to go to the pair. If we go to Euro CHF now, it'll probably look like it's in a buy position just because what we can see here, but let's see. Euro CHF, boom. Right there, people. You see? Can you see how easy that is? Literally. I didn't even know Euro CHF was buying because I couldn't see it. But because the table has shown me what it's been programmed to do, it's already telling me that there's an indication of a possible buy trade setup that's happening there. Okay. Now, so that's that pair. Now we're going to go into USD CAD next. So I'll check at 10 p.m. exactly. Will the signal stay? Disappear after. Now, obviously, remember what happens here, people. It's always best to check it at 10 p.m. Yeah, because I'm even going to check it now again. I'm going to close this quickly and we're going to check what there is today, because this is why I wanted to do the Zoom now, because it's literally showing you what you can do for a setup. So you can see here, Euro New Zealand is telling us automatically, look, you can see right in front of you people. So if Euro New Zealand sells, the table has shown us before, and this is why I even wanted to do this Zoom in the first place, okay? Look, boom. So we're going to go over to Euro New Zealand now quickly first, because the market's about to reopen, yeah? Boom. Euro New Zealand's already telling us straight away, yeah? I was already on Euro New Zealand before it removed drawings, yeah, boom. So Euro New Zealand is telling us straight away that there's been a breakout order. You didn't have to do nothing. Neo's already told you that. As soon as it did, we were even just joking about it in the VIP group, like between a few of us, that we're just waiting for the market to close. You can already see now. So from as soon as it went to 10 o'clock, it's probably about 5 minutes. Give it a few minutes. So about 5 minutes past 10, because, you know, at first they just play around a little bit of market, but it should just update itself. And Euro New Zealand appeared. Now, of course, Euro New Zealand, look how small that gap is at the moment, literally. So yes, this will if this, yeah, goes through here, this candle, this green candle goes all the way up and makes this box disappear, this will change to a no, because there's nothing there now. You can't see no breakout order. It's not going to stick there because it's real time. It's literally real time in what the market's doing. So that's what can happen there, literally. But it doesn't, remember, your job, your one job to do, you can see it's buying now, your one job to do is to take a screenshot of this. I already remember, if you're in the VIP, I'm going to put a screenshot there anyway. Literally 9 out of 10 times, obviously I'm human, I might miss a day or miss a little bit at the time. I will put a screenshot of what the market shows straight away. So we'll know what pairs are there. Even if this starts to buy back up and covers this during the 1 hour the market's closed, it's still valid because it was there. Do you understand? Because in the end of the day, there's still there. I've seen so much data, and other people, I'm sure if they've been following what I'm doing, is it will still do the move. Like again, 9 out of 10 times, if it's good, it will do the move. Do you understand? It will still do it. You don't have to worry about that. But again, remember, we're only going to enter this trade if the confluence on the 4 hour appears. So yes, if this does turn to no, in the next 5 minutes, it could just clear this whole thing. Or even, look, see, it's done it already. Can you see? Can you see it's like getting lower and lower. It's telling you like it's about to disappear here. Yeah. But even if it does disappear, we're not entering this trade unless the 4 hour confluence appears. And the only FVG we can see on the 4 hour at the moment is exactly where I drew it before, which is here. So just like I put in the VIP chat, just like a few minutes ago, we're expecting price to go up here and create a M1 label, a high label, or a M2 label in this area. When that appears, the 4 hour candle closes and it appears. So let's say it does like this. And let's just say it says M2 here. Yeah. We are going to enter this trade. We're literally going to enter this trade.
Burn it. Make whatever's near there, get it off.
Just gotta mute that person there. We're going to enter this trade. And how we're going to enter this trade is literally like this, guys and girls. We're going to enter it with a short position when it gets in there. Let's just say it closes here. We're going to put our stop loss above this FVG, and we're going to target our TP levels for here. So this would be TP1 here. Boom. This would be TP1. This would be TP2. This would be TP3 down here because we can see the liquidity. And we're going for a nice 1 to 2. So let's look over to the left and see if we see anything. Yeah. So now it gets a bit harder because obviously it will only go a certain amount back, showing us, it will only show you a certain amount to the left, liquidity levels and M&Ws, because of course, if not, you know, it's taking up too much data on trading view. So your screen will just lag. It won't work properly. So of course, there's a limit to it. So anyway, now I can't see any further on the 4 hour chart for take profit levels. I'm obviously just going to go to a higher time frame because a higher time frame is going to show me further back. And what do we see here? So if it does want to go any lower, we've got our take profit level all the way down here. Now, yeah, that's a bit far-fetched. That's a 10-hour trade. It's not impossible because at some point, Euro New Zealand as well, just in general, is actually quite high. So it's not impossible. This could be the week it wants to do a 10-hour trade. We all know that. This is trading. It can happen. But where I would be more sensible, for me, what I would say is that if it's going to go any further, look at where the previous resistance levels were, because that's structure. Where was the structure before? Well, we can clearly see it from where all the liquidity is already marked. So remember, we've already seen where TP1 and 2 can be. So for me, if I'm looking on the daily aspect here, I would say TP3 would be here. Because why? We can clearly see there was a liquidity high here. There was another high up here as well. There was one here. So these are all daily previous resistance levels where price obviously sold down from. So if it is going to keep selling, this is a bit more realistic, giving you about a 4 to a 4.5, 4.6 R trade. So if it is going to sell like that, then boom, this is the type of trade setup you could possibly be seeing. And if not, it might go further. So when you got your 4-hour setup now, your 4-hour setup looks a little bit like this now. Do you understand? For rejection off of there, and whoops, rejection off of there, to get to the arrow, but never mind. A rejection off of this FVG right here on the 4-hour, and a continuation of a sell. This, I was going to explain this trade last, because I wanted to show you USD CAD, but this is the pair we're looking at today for possible sell trade setups. Now, what this could do, because again, just before the Zoom start, I was explaining it to a trader in here. There is New Zealand news in the next 3 hours and 32 minutes, and there's Australian news. Australian news and New Zealand news can move odd pairs or New Zealand pairs. So what we could see happen here is if it doesn't want to pull back, it might create a new FVG. So let's just hide this for now. It might create a new FVG here. Yeah. This is what it might do. But if it creates a new FVG, there's nothing wrong with it. You're still just doing the same old thing. So let's just say now, let's just go back to the path tool, so I can show you a bit better. Boom. Let's just say it goes up here and then stops and then creates some type of move. It creates the FVG here. Boom. Yeah. Cool. The next thing it could do after that, let's just draw the FVG so you can see what I'm saying. So I'm not just talking for no reason. Let's just say it creates an FVG here. Yeah. So this is the FVG it creates here. Yeah. And then now coming into London session, what would you do now? Let's say London, New York, just depends on when it obviously decides to go there. Boom, it could create a M1, a high, or a M2 in here. We will do the same thing and look for our trade setup and look for the take profit levels that said lower. Obviously, TP1 has been hit already, which was here. So this won't be our take profit level. Obviously, we'll look for every take profit level on the 4-hour or daily that's lower than that, or any type of daily structure or even 4-hour structure that's lower than that. Do you understand? Literally, that's all we will do. It'd just be the same as that thing, because now we know that they didn't want to go any higher because they created a new FVG here. Do you understand? So this can happen literally, and that's how we will just take the trade setup. So it will either pull back into a 4-hour FVG, or it will create a new one, pull back into that FVG, and that's how you'll look to take your trade setup. And you do the exact same thing. Your stop loss would just be above this FVG here, or you can put your stop loss above this FVG here. It depends on what you want to do. You might decide to lower your risk and put it here. You might decide to increase your risk because you're going to take less of a loss if it does wick through here and put your stop loss above here. It's how you deem it as a trader. There is no perfect way, and no one can teach you a perfect way, because nobody will know if they're going to just wick this place and then sell, or if they're going to go back up here, retest one more time, and not go any further than that towards the top of this and sell. It's impossible for you to know that, people. Do you understand? That's literally impossible. So again, it's up to the trader, yeah, which one. So if I was to give a signal now, again, I'll give a signal of 2 of these. So I'll say you've got an entry here, and you have an entry, sorry, not entry here and here. You've got a stop loss here, and you've got a stop loss here. Or I would just say you've got a stop loss up here, and just make it a smaller trade, just to make it easier for any of the VIP traders. Do you understand? So I would say your stop loss would be here. So let's see how big that stop loss is. It might be too big, but let's just see. Let's see if we were to enter like here, boom. Let's just say it was there. Yeah, it could be bigger because Euro New Zealand is a pair that moves quite a lot of pips. Do you understand? So for safety purposes, because your entry might not even be on the FVG, your entry could be down here. Do you understand? That's like 95 pips now. It's not bad if the trade still goes to where the 4 risk to reward was. It's not terrible. It's not terrible, people, because you still catch some decent pips. Remember, money is money, people. Money is money. Do you understand? Let's not be funny about money. You don't have to be, again, a runway model trader, yeah? But in the end of the day, obviously, I know people, they always want the best trades and the lowest stop loss and the. It's very tiring, people, but yes, that is the thing. I get it. Do you understand? So you have a choice. You could still even put your entry here lower your risk a bit more, so don't trade as heavy. So let's say from here, you would take a 3.0 trade on a 100K account if it's a prop firm. Maybe you take a 1.50 lot size here. So if it does move back a little bit, let's say it moves to here, or even if it does tap this area again, you're not crazy negative. Do you understand? So it's either going to pull back into this FBG here on the 4-hour, or it will create a new one and do that. And then the worst case it can do, which wouldn't matter anyway, is it will create this FVG. It just will not pull back to this FVG, and it will just go all the way. Hold on. It will just go all the way down straight. Like it just won't even pull back to it. If it does that, you've missed the trade. It's okay, because this trading setup, I'm telling you here, between the daily and the 4-hour happens every single week, multiple times. You have not got to stress. There is no way within the 4 weeks of a month you will not make money if you trade exactly what I've just taught you from the beginning of this video until here. Do you understand? So with me saying that, I'm trying to do it in segments here. Like I showed you how I won Euro New Zealand buy, and I've shown you what Euro New Zealand can do now for the sell, because we can see it on the, again, for anyone that's just joined, we can see right here on the dashboard, obviously it started to pull back. So it's exactly what I showed you what happened. It says no now, but we know already because I put a screenshot in the VIP group, and I've already shown you guys and girls, yeah, that this can happen as well here. Boom. We know Euro New Zealand can still sell because it's still got its breakout order here. Still there. This gap that's here with this candle right there, the gap from the bottom of this wick to the closure of this candle is still the gap. There's still sell orders laying in this area. We just got to see what it wants to do. So again, it looks more like it wants to pull back to this FVG and sell, but again, it's up to the news and what they want to do with it. So I was just showing you on the possible trade setup for today. So again, your main key confluence you're trying to do here is what? You want to make sure you come to the market when it closes in the daily between the first, I would say, 15 minutes. So you can get your screenshot, yeah, or write down, whatever way you want to do it, write down what pairs have a daily breakout order. Do you understand? Because again, the table is reading live candle movement. That's why it turned to a no now instead of a yes. It's reading it live. Do you understand? So, boom, that's what that is. But we already know Euro New Zealand, again, is a possible sell setup. So we'll still be looking for our sell setup in it. So does anybody have any questions on what I've just said there in that last segment of this Zoom call? Let's see here. The chat. Okay, no questions. Cool. So let's go over to the other winner that we took last week, which was USD CAD. And this is a good one because this is one that took its time to go off. So as you can see here, here's the trade, boom, signal trade, and it was the same thing. What did we see here? And this is exactly like Euro New Zealand right now. Pay attention to this, people. We're going to go back to replay mode and go to the daily and look here, boom. And then let's see what the table says. We're going to zoom in. And USD CAD, yeah, USD CAD here. Let's see if we do this. It does it. Boom. Yeah, you can see it has a breakout order. It has a breakout order. And again, like I showed you, this would say 2 here in the live market. It would look exactly like this. It would say 2, and it would say, obviously, it would be bearish, yeah? But the candle moves faster in replay mode. It doesn't move per every little second of the candle. It just kind of jumps a little bit and jumps a little bit more. So boom, you can see here, we've got a breakout order here. We've got a break of the EMA just to show you. I'll zoom in so you can see it. You can see this candle has broken the EMA. This is a color change in EMA as well. And if you look closely, the color has changed to gray, from green to gray. So it changes, yeah? And again, the table will show you all of that. So it was the same as that thing. We were just looking for a sell trade setup. So we go to the 4-hour chart. And now we're waiting for a 4-hour retest of there's, where is it? Let's zoom in so we can see it. Boom, 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 boom. No. So there was this FVG here when this candle did close. Look, boom. So we wanted to retest into this 4-hour FVG and give us a what label are we looking for if it's a sell, people? I've said it a few times in this Zoom. I'm just trying to see if people are paying attention. What labels on Neo are we looking for? M's and W's. Which one are we looking for here for a possible sell trade setup? Just take a guess, people. Cool. Anybody else as well? There we go. Perfect, Yusuf. Perfect. So, yeah, we're literally looking at very nice, Grace, because I know you just joined, Grace, so I love the fact that you've paid attention to that straight away. That's beautiful. Yeah. So we're looking for a M, a high, a M1, a high, or a M2. But let's put it this way so people get what I'm saying. We're looking for a M1, a M2, or worst case scenario, a high. Do you understand? Because the M1s and the M2s are always better than the high, and the W1 and the W2 is always better than the low. But it doesn't mean the trade can't happen, because regardless, a high in trading will always be a high. Regardless if it's an M1, M2, or high, it's always going to be a high. It's telling you a high is formed. Do you understand? It's just telling you which part of in the pattern of a double top or a double bottom, it has been formed in, basically. Yeah. So boom, let's just go back to here and continue the replay. Boom, boom, boom. Cool. So it blew past this FVG as well. So imagine all here, you're not entering this trade. You're not entering, you're chilled. You're chilled, people. Chilled. You don't stress yourself in this with this strategy. Don't stress yourself. Remember, that's 12 hours, people. That's 12 hours. You could do a lot in 12 hours. You can go to work and come home. You know, like that. You can go to work, feed the kids, get all the kids' bath ready for bed. You know, like you can do all of that stuff. That's 12 hours there, basically, people. Yeah. Cool. Now we just wait. Boom. As soon as I saw this massive rejection, I knew, yep, we're still in for luck here. This still wants to sell, because it would not have done that if it didn't want to. You can obviously see there was CPI as well last week. This was manipulation in the market. It was a liquidity grab, basically, probably for a lower time frame. It was like basically manipulation, liquidity grab in order for them to do the correct move after CPI had hit. So anyone that entered, you know, without using the logic of Neo, let's just say now, or whatever they've got, they would have lost that trade because they would have just waited for it to get to this FEG and said, yeah, let me sell here. Or maybe they've got a pending order here, which they would have lost that trade. Yeah. Unless their stop loss was all the way above this liquidity high. Yeah. Cool. It's done this. As soon as it started to do this, then I was like, yep, bingo, it's ready to sell. Okay. I was actually, I think, out at the time when the entry came in. But as we can see, when that happened, price action pulled back. When it pulled back like this and then started to sell, it wasn't even the fact that it started to sell. It's the fact that obviously I was out while it was pulling back this crazy. And then I managed to just be able to check my phone at the point of when it got to around here. That's how you can see my entries right where the candle stopped here. And that's when I've told everybody, hey, enter the trade. So I would have told everybody to even enter from here after this one. Do you understand? So we would have either had an entry here or here, literally, because this, you can see up here, what happened? It was an M2. It basically went all the way back up, broke through that FEG, but then it did this one to come all the way back down. That's a clear sign they put a huge sell order based on what, people? Based on the fact that we had a daily breakout order through the EMA here. So I want you to know this would have said no. When this was buying up like that, this would have changed. This is why I told you you can still trade the trade. It's still got a very high win rate. And as long as you've got this screenshot from, let's say, the first 15 minutes of the market closing, you'd have been fine. Yeah. Still, and I told everybody again, it was in the VIP chat. I just don't want to keep changing screens, but it's right there, people. Anyone can attest. They can say that, you know, it's there. You would have seen it said that. It always appears when the candle closes. I tried to make it during, but then it was bugged. And you don't want to trade like that anyway, because you're trying to you're jumping. We're already kind of jumping a fair value gap appearing for us to get the winning trade. Now, if we're trying to trade it as it's appearing the M2, you know, it might reverse and then not create the M2. Do you understand? So we kind of had that issue in the first month of Neo when I first released it. And it's not a bad thing. You could be right, but then it's like you're trying to do too much guessing and it's not necessary. It just create headache for you. Do you understand? Just wait for the candle to close, because at least then you're solid with your confluences, is what I would say. It's just way better. It's just way better. But in the end of the day, obviously you can see exactly what's happening here. We could see this massive sell and you can get in the trade. Yeah. If you wanted to, I got in whilst this candle was selling like this. My first position on one of my accounts I did. But then all the proper accounts I was trading, I think I got, yeah, pretty much. I'm pretty sure I got in when it was still selling as well. Because it would have took a lot. I got in when the candle was about to close. So it was in the last hour or 30 minutes of this candle. Obviously, no, don't jump straight away. If it's the last hour or 30 minutes, then there's a high chance they're not going to reverse this candle all the way back up and not close it with a M1, M2 or high label. Do you understand? So that's how I got in the trade a bit earlier. So boom. Anyway, as we can see, that's exactly what happened. Same thing, breakout order on the daily. It went through the FVG this time. So some people don't get confused. It did exactly what Euro New Zealand did, no different. But it came back through it. So I was like, okay, cool. we're ready. And then boom, obviously we can see here, price action still was faffing around. So the next day when it was supposed to sell, it never sold, never sold. We had to wait. This is what I just told someone in the VIP group as well. Never sold. So I'd say give it 24 to 40, basically give it like 2 trading days, long story short. And then boom, we got another M1. See, if I'm lying and flying people, this, you can see how that was just manipulation. What you saw that on the 4 hour, pay attention to the 4 hour here. Forget the daily, pay attention to the 4 hour. This was what it was supposed to do. Look at the same FVG and the M1 entry. But look what the manipulation they did, making a decision. And then when it went back here again, this is why I was telling this trader today, we were talking about, because I'm negative on my prop accounts from last year. I told everyone I went through a lot. There was so much happening last year for me in my private life on top of trading, you know, and I don't think it was necessarily only the trading, sorry, only my personal life. I think it was also just a bunch of, you know, sometimes you just take bad trades. It's just the way of the world. And I'm always transparent about that. Do you understand? But the year before was fantastic. It was just last year was just not a great year for me trading. It just happens, trading, innit? But yeah, boom, you can see here straight away, yeah, that, you know, once you manage to just wait and you've seen how the setup looks, you can see the FVG, boom, same FVG, M1 entry. And what I was trying to get to before is that I can't make this up, people. Because the question he asked me was like, I get it, your tools are so great, but there was a problem last year with the trade. Why is it not represented in the tools to your account, the account that was being managed? And again, I explained the whole point of it. I have to trade those accounts different and everything, but I don't want to go off of the topic here. You know, I'll go back towards that towards the end. But this is why one is data collection. You have to be aware of this. I can't just create something and say, yeah, let me just enter here. I had to know that M2s have to break first, or M1s or highs. I have to know that if it does a rejection like this is still good enough. So maybe the 1 or the 2 times I didn't wait for this and waited for the forming of the M2, just like the Grace asked, that would have been a trade I took on these accounts at that point, and that's when I would have lost the trade. You can only learn through your experiences, is what I'm trying to say. But as you can pay attention clearly here, as soon as price went back to that FVG again, M1, boom, then we just saw the breakthrough. And I remember I was just texting everyone, telling them, boom, we saw the breakthrough of the trade, and there you go. We basically got a 130 pip trade. Do you understand, people? From when I gave out the signal. But even if you entered, let's just see here, even if you entered on the closure of this candle, you still would have made a 1.13 trade, and it would have been about 100 pips on this trade. Do you understand? Even if you entered there, guys and girls, literally. So do you get the point of it? Has anyone got any questions on what I've just said there as well? So I've shown you Euro New Zealand, I've shown you Euro USD CAD. So I've shown you a buy trade, a sell trade, and I've shown you Euro New Zealand, what could sell coming forward to today, going forward from today, sorry. Boom, let's see here. On the 4 hour, there's a few boxes. There's only a few boxes literally because of this, yeah. You in your FEG settings in Neo NUE, you could just literally go to here. You can lower these if you want to, and you can make the length longer and shorter. So that's the only reason why. So you see, if I go back here, they will all appear again. So you can see now there's 2 boxes. Now, do you understand? So they're just previous FEGs. That's all they are. They're just previous FEGs. There's nothing there. Do you always want to look at the most recent? Yes, you always want to look at the most recent one. And the most recent one should always be obviously in confluence to what you're trying to do. So when we were looking for this entry, obviously the most recent one was the sell one, even though it blew past it, it was. So anything that happened before that last sell one that was just here, you know, right there. Let's see if we can get it going back. Hold on. Yeah, right there. Can you see? Look, see now. So if I had only the settings on 3 FVGs, you can see it only shows this amount. This is just a setting thing really as well, people, just so you don't get confused. Wait. Do we always look at the most recent one and wait for the MLW? Yeah, that's exactly what it is. So I pretty much answered that question. So that's why there was a lot of them. And yes, you always wait for the most recent one, or again, the most recent one will be a newly formed one. It'll still be the most recent one. So yeah, you literally trade the most recent pullback. So the pullback to the most recent one, and then the MLW entry. Is it best to check the chart every 4 hours to look for entry, whether it be M or W? Yeah, it's always best to yeah, you just always check your chart every 4 hours. Simple. That's the easiest way to do it. So all I do is literally, as soon as I know a pair, so like you're in New Zealand now, I'll check at 2. Obviously, this is my time, UK time. If I am still up, I've got to be up in the morning. I've got to be up at like 7 o'clock to go somewhere. So I would, if I am still up at the time, I'll check at 2 o'clock. Then I'll check at 6. So what I'll do is I'm going to be up from 6 to make sure. So if I miss the 2 o'clock one, hopefully it doesn't do the move. If it does, you can't catch every trade, people. You've got to sleep sometimes. You'll never sleep in this game, I swear. So let's say I missed the 2 o'clock one, I'll just check again at 6 a.m., which is the next 4-hour candle. So 6 a.m., I just get up, check it. If it's closed with M1 high or M2 on Euro New Zealand in the FVG and the 4-hour where we need, then what am I going to do? I'm going to enter the trade, literally. It's just that. When you say how to add or monitor more pairs on your screen or chart, what do you mean by that? Like, give me a better understanding so I can answer the question correctly, please.
So basically, each time I want to look for a new pair, I have to go to my settings and change it. But if there's a way to, because your screen you can see about 28. So do I add the indicator twice and then
Yeah, you
add?
got to add the indicator twice. Yeah, I said that at the beginning of the Zoom. So you add the indicator twice and you set the first one to the top right. Yeah, and then put the font size on tiny or small. It depends on what your eyesight can see in terms of this. Yeah. So you've got different sizes of the table. So remember, top right for the first one, and then you can add all the pairs here. Always use Oanda. Yeah, cool. And then you set the second one to the bottom right there. And again, tiny, and you can add all the other pairs here. Does that make sense?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, that's no problem at all. So remember, you just got to add the indicator twice, people. So boom. Cool. Was there another question? Let's just see. Okay, yeah, no, that was the question. Yeah, any other questions, people? Because I'm going to keep the Zoom kind of short because I'm going to go onto YouTube. I'm going to put this on YouTube, and every time people see 30, 40 minutes, they just run away from the video when they don't realize that this video could probably end up making them like £1,000 a week, £2,000 a week, like literally. Like I said, I've literally made 10K in 2 weeks trading this strategy on a 100K account. Literally. And I've obviously increased the risk more on my account, because I got a new 100K account and started doing it. But I passed the account as well, people. So I've literally made 20K in like 4 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks max doing this strategy. Because I passed the account with 10K and then I was able to now make 10K in the last 2 weeks. So I've been doing this strategy for how long now? Is what I'm trying to say. I've been doing it from about the beginning of December, mid-December, but I had to be a bit more careful because obviously Christmas, New Year's, the market's going to be a bit lower volume. But yeah, literally that. So it works perfectly, people. Works perfectly. Anybody got any other questions? Cool. So if you haven't got any other questions, again, so I just want to make this clear for anyone that does watch this back. So I'm going to go through a little just topics and discussions here for people to psychology session. Yeah. First and foremost, I manage accounts which are with a certain firm. I'm not going to say it on here. Obviously, if you want to message me, you can, and then we'll talk about that further. Basically, when I managed these accounts, again, like I said, 2023 was perfect. We were all in the green. Literally, I remember I had a little loss towards the end, but I managed to claw it back towards the end. I remember it was NZD USD buys in December as well, and it just kept buying. And I managed to catch that trade to kind of get it back as well. But going into 2024, 2024, a lot of stuff happened to me, which is just crazy. It happens to people. Life be lifing, as it be sometimes. And yeah, so I just went through a lot. So obviously, as a trader, when you're going through a lot as well, you've got to be careful. But one thing I do like commend myself on, I didn't just start taking out all of those problems on the accounts I managed. At one point, I was managing up to $5 million worth of capital. Now it's around about 3.5 million because people took their accounts back, not the fact that I blew accounts, literally. And literally, some people just weren't happy of my performance during 2024. And that's absolutely fair. People can take their accounts back and what it is. What I will say is that I'm pretty sure not one person that has taken their account back from me has managed to pass their account. Literally, they just end up blowing their account because they get frustrated. They were already frustrated is why they took their account back in the first place. And I'm saying this respectfully. It's a psychology lesson here for everyone. So if your mind frame is to take the account back instead of just buying another account and trading that account, because again, it's no different from an S&P 500, it's putting money in there and investing. It's an investment. You're not supposed to be seeing money every second or within 3 months just because other group people do that. You're not. It's an investment. So their psychology is coming, and a lot of people have thrown bots on their account and blew the hell out of their account. It's crazy. Or they just risked crazy and blew the account within like 3 or 4 weeks. But then I was trading these people's accounts for like a year. Certain accounts I've had for like a year and a half, and I haven't blown the account. There's been ups and downs, but I have not blown the account. And that is a test. That is a testimony of testimonies, because do you know how hard it is not to blow an account over a year and a half period, 2 years even? It's crazy, people, as you all know if you're traders. You understand? You've got to be very disciplined in terms of knowing when to cut a trade, knowing when to just accept defeat, and obviously knowing how to get your profits as well. So that's one of those things. And when I trade these accounts as well, I have to trade them individually, people. So I have to enter, and like Euro New Zealand, when it comes through as a trade setup, I have to enter it individually in that trading setup, one by one on each account, log in, log out, log in, log out, log in, log out. So it's very hard. It takes like 30, 40 minutes for me to do that. Do you understand? So I can't just take 10 positions. If you see me take on one of my accounts like 3 or 4 positions, but I took 2 on, let's say, the prop accounts, it's because I can't, on my account, I could just be like buy, sell quickly. But I can't. Imagine 30, 40 minutes and then trades come in at different times, the entries. How many hours of a day is that going to take up for me to do it? So that's why I don't trade on my prop accounts that I manage every single trade. I don't trade gold or metals or indexes on there because, again, some people have given me different prop firms that have different leverages. So if I enter the wrong leverage on your prop firm, I can end up blowing your account. So I just don't trade them on there. So yeah, that's all my reasoning for that. But yeah, it's a process, and we are eventually going to get there through there. So obviously some people have accounts passed, but others don't. Obviously it's all a period and a process as well. I'm just going to see a question that was here. You need to hire staff. Yeah, eventually so, but for now, let's just get it past, and we'll get there. Obviously, the risk to reward in terms of what I can gain from it is very beneficial for myself. And that's another thing I'm going to say. Whenever I don't take a trade on these prop firm accounts I manage, whoever might watch this video back, think about the logic of it. I'm going to make how much money? 50% is what I take from all the people that make their, let's say, once the account's passed and we make profits, every payout, I'll take my 50%, you take yours. But remember, you've never, hear me out, you've never traded this account. You don't have to do nothing. That's why you're making your, and you're still making 50%. Do you understand? So again, if I just made the 10K in 2 weeks, let's say now, and that was your account, you'd have made $5,000 in 2 weeks for doing nothing apart from your initial investment. Do you understand? So my gain, yes, is great because I have multiple accounts I'm trading and getting 50% from. So if I'm not taking a trade, there must be an extremely good reason, because I have a lot to gain from passing and making this money as well. Do you understand? And that's what it was. And some people couldn't take that as well. They're like, trade now. And I'm like, well, no, because you're not the one that's going to be 100,000, 150,000 pound drawn down and you can't sleep. I am. You understand what I'm saying? Because so no, I'm not going to just enter the trades. So some people couldn't take the heat in the kitchen and they took back the account as well. Again, I say this all respectfully. It's not to dig at anyone, but if I don't talk this piece, people won't understand why and how I was managing certain accounts. And again, somebody spoke to me today about this. So I thought I'd just put that out there for people so they can understand. But the logic of what I'm saying here and what I'm doing is that if I could make 10K in 2 weeks on a 100K account, imagine you follow that process. You can now get yourself multiple accounts like this once you start doing what I've shown you in this video, and you can start doing that. So if you get a million, if that was $1 million account right now, I would have made $100,000 in 2 weeks, people. Do you understand? $100,000 in 2 weeks. Do you get the point of it? Yeah. This is the power of what you can do. And you can still do this as well with small accounts to big accounts as well. So you can literally have like $100 in an account and you can trade the same strategy like that to grow. So you can use a live account and do the same thing here, people. I'll go more and more into the live account version as time goes on. Literally, I'm just testing a few more things and then I'll make videos based on that. So that's to do with that one, guys and girls, as well. Was there anything else I wanted to cover? I think that was pretty much it. Yeah, so it's pretty much there, people. I mean, you've got everything in front of you. It's a very simple system. If you want to get access to this, you just got to message me. It's basically 50 GBP a month for Neo. Better say you can try it out for 1 month if you want. If you don't want to waste your time with that, you can just go for lifetime access, you know, because some people, they just like, mate, I ain't got time to waste. This is my lifetime. I'm like, cool, it's no problem. And I'll always respect that person. I'll always give that person as much of my time as possible as well. Because again, they're showing me that they're just ready to drop the money. If you are obviously able to drop the lifetime access payment, it's 2 payments twice as well. So, well, it's 2 payments, should I say? And it's 1 month after the other. So you can pay 300 GBP 1 month and you can pay 300 GBP the next month. So therefore you can pay it every pay cycle from your job rather than paying it in one go. I understand that will be a bit harder for some traders, you know? All you have to do is give me a message. The links to get through to me will be in the description of this video. And yeah, that's pretty much everything there. Any other questions before we go? And I'll leave it there after that. Any other questions? No other questions, people? Okay. All right, then. So if there's no other questions, we'll leave it there. Yeah, we'll leave it there. Now, just looking at Euro New Zealand in general, yeah, we're very high. Let's go to the monthly chart. We are very high. Has it hit the monthly and the yearly high? Boom, boom, boom. The yearly high will be here. So it hasn't. So yeah, it's a bit of a 50-50. It might want to go and grab the yearly liquidity high, which is up here, basically. So it might want to go grab that. I don't think it, let's double check if it has actually. Zoom in properly. Oh, no, it has. Yeah, so it could sell. It could sell, definitely. Because look here. So this would have been this year's high so far. And you can see this year, it went, look how it went exactly to that level. Let's go see it. Boom. It went exactly to that level. And let's go to the daily chart there. And you can see what it did. So after it hit there, you can see the sell it did after it grabbed the yearly liquidity high in February. Look at the sell. So now we can see a lower high has been formed, and this could be the continuation of the lower high. So this was the high of the year. Here's the lower high. And then now, boom, it could continue to sell. USD CHF, no problem. No problem. So USD CHF again, we'll go to USD CHF. This is the last trade I gave out today. Again, Mondays and Fridays are a bit weird because they're the start of the week and the end of the week. So that's why I never gave it as signals, more like trade ideas. Here, look, boom. So look, daily chart, what do we have here? Let's go daily 4 hour. What do we have here, people? So on the daily chart, we have a breakout of the EMA. We also have a breakout order that would have been bigger, but obviously price had been buying up. You can see that we only got our first high label here, which was 2 p.m. London time. But again, where was it? It was in a 4-hour FEG. So you literally enter this trade now. I would put my stop loss above this 4-hour FEG here because price has obviously broken through this previous one here. So I put my stop loss above this level here and then obviously just target any of the lows lower. So any of the lows. So here would obviously be TP1. Here's TP2. And we just obviously go lower and lower. We'll have to go to the daily. You see it? Here's TP3, if that's not the same one. So there, boom. So that's what you do. So again, this is exactly why I said you could sell USD CHF. Everything was there. We had the Friday breakout of the EMA and we had the breakout order as well. We had the pullback into the 4-hour FEG and a 4-hour high label. So this is giving us an indication that this pair could continue to sell today. Because you would have entered, regardless if it created a W2 here, you would have entered here. It's always going to still create more labels, but it's what did it create at the time it created it and where it created it for you to enter. So right now, you're just, again, you would have entered here. Stop loss would be above this FEG here. And you'd be waiting to take this trade for a continuation of a sell. And that's what you're hoping on right now. It might just do one thing where it wicks into this FEG a little bit and then sells down. But literally, this is a sell continuation. And then just even to add it up for everyone else, if you go over to Dixie, which is the US dollar, you know, You can see Dixie did the same thing here, basically. Dixie even did a breakout order yesterday again, so it could continue this breakout order for sells. But Dixie did the exact same thing here when it did a breakout order here. So this is the previous daily breakout order of the EMA. What did we see here? We haven't seen a pullback to the 4-hour FBG just yet. It's right here. So the 4-hour pullback, if this is a newly formed, you see what I'm saying? So it might create a breakout order, like I said before, but then it will have to create a new FBG before it pulls back. You can see it's pulled back into this 4-hour FBG, which is a newer one. Yeah, which was yesterday. Was it yesterday it formed it? Yeah, it was yesterday. No, it was Friday. It was Friday it formed this one. It can pull back into this one here and then continue. So literally, it's got all the signs to continue this whole setup here. All the signs that it could continue. And this is the Dixie. So if the dollar sold, USD JPY, USD CHF, and USD CAD should sell. And that's exactly what we saw. USD CAD sold. USD CHF could be gearing up for that sell as well now. Hopefully I answered your question there, Mike. So that's why I said that one could do that, literally. But if it doesn't, I'd place it on the fact that it was a Monday entry. Monday, well, the best trading days are Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Literally, if you get a breakout order on a Wednesday, there's a very, very good chance that it's just going to continue on a Thursday because it's done all the rubbish it needs to do Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So it's very unlikely that they're going to give you a trade setup on the Thursday for an entry and reverse the market all the way back up or all the way down. They're not going to reverse it. There's a very good chance if they've done this daily EMA breakout order by Wednesday and you're looking for a Thursday entry, I would say there's a good 9 out of 10 chance that trade's going to continue. If not a 10 out of 10, it's going to continue because they've made the decision of the week, which is they've placed the order to continue. Do you understand? Literally. And there's more logic behind that. But again, I teach that in the VIP service. There's even more logic as to why these breakout orders are actually very good because they literally are showing you when orders are placed during the week, which helps to the roundup of orders at the end of the week, basically. All right, yeah, I'll leave it there, people. So it's just around a fresh, 1 hour Zoom. And yeah, again, hit me up if you want to get Neo. You'll love it. I'm telling you, fantastic piece of kit. All right, I'll see you later, guys and girls. You take care. Have a lovely evening for those in the UK and have a lovely afternoon, evening for those in America and elsewhere. Take care, people.